One of the most common ways that this seems to play out in people's lives is the chase for optimal. Now, surprisingly, chasing optimal is almost a surefire way to fall short of it, because the way we discuss and think of being optimal in the evidence-based fitness community, especially in the bodybuilding corner of it, is one where we're always searching and always looking for something that is better. We're thinking the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. Now, as a scientist, I can tell you that even with an understanding of all the literature, and even with a lot of experience, it's almost impossible to tell if something is truly optimal. Now, I know that might surprise you because as scientists, it seems like what we're always trying to do is find innovative, cutting-edge techniques, and that's what science should help us do. But let's think about a scientific study. If I was to compare 3 grams per kilogram of protein to 1.6 grams per kilogram of protein, I can only tell you if one was better than the other, or if they were equal, but I can't tell you if something between them, higher or lower, was better than both. As my good friend, colleague, and mentor, Dr. Mike Zerdos said when he was talking about his dissertation, which found one form of daily undulating periodization was superior to another, he said it's quite possible that this better form of undulating periodization is the second worst possible form on the planet, because that's the limitation of studies where we're comparing 2 distinct protocols or 2 distinct approaches. They only tell you whether one is better than the other. So ultimately, it takes time, it takes patience, and we have to think about things holistically, and we're going to have to get outside of our comfort zone and not try to overplan everything in advance. Because the chase for optimal sometimes puts us in a position where we're actually just waiting around for the thing that makes us feel less fearful. So it's good to shoot for the stars, but honestly, we need to constantly learn from the times we've tried to shoot for the stars and fell short of them. And shooting for the stars is not the same thing as being anxiety-driven and program hopping from time to time looking for what's optimal and essentially having a bit of FOMOG, the fear of missing out on gains. A lot of the times people who think they're chasing optimal are really just trying to soothe their anxiety about maybe this won't work, am I good enough, will I be able to make gains, and is this the right program for me, when ultimately they're only going to find those things out by getting in, getting their hands dirty, and really thinking about how do I set up a program that I could follow for a while to be able to observe if it's going to be effective. You'll always be able to convince yourself that the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, but there are no universally good programs. If that was the case, we'd all be following the same training program. But ultimately, what we can tell you as coaches who've been coaching at 3DMJ for more than a decade now is each individual athlete we have has a unique individual approach that is going to be best suited for them right now. And even that will change over time. Who you are today is not going to be who you are a year from now, and neither one is who you were a year ago. And your life circumstances change, your body changes, and your mind changes, and you have to be able to be adaptable. And that's where some of these pillars come in. So it really requires you assessing your training. Is it realistic? Is it enjoyable? And is it flexible? And each of these requires discussion, which we're going to get into for the rest of this course.